how did it spread regionally in the 20th century? So question is, it is not in a handout, but do you think the HIV spread in the same pattern between regions? Maybe you're thinking maybe different. Yes, it is differently by the region. Okay, so we'll see the epidemic by region and region. The first is Africa. So this is HIV prevalence among female sex workers in 1980s. This is Rwanda, Malawi, Tanzania, Zaire, and then to Niger or Sudan. So it's amazing, you know. Already around 40% was 20%, even 60, 80% of female sex workers are infected with HIV. Then, so this increase in the prevalence among STD patients, sexually transmitted disease patients. So in 1980s, it keeps going up, reaching 20%, 30%, even to 40%. They may be the clients of female sex workers. Then epidemic, shifted to the women. So this is HIV prevalence among urban pregnant women. Again, it reaches 10%, 20%, reach close to 30%. So this is an example, how it affected the country, whole country. So this is data from Uganda in 1994. So this is age group, and this is the HIV prevalence among the general population. It is not a particular population, it's general population. So in a group aged 25 to 34, the HIV prevalence reached 15% or even 20%. So next graph is the death rates of the different age group in a two district. One is the Masaka district, the other is Rakai district. So the red bar represent the deaths from AIDS. So you will see there are many AIDS-related deaths in the age group of from 20 to 40s. So that means, HIV attacks very selectively the age group, very reproductive and productive. So that's why the impact of AIDS is so serious. Okay. So in African countries, epidemic is, we should say, generalized in the population, not limited to the specific group, but generalized. So next is North America and Western Europe. So this is an example of the WHO European region. So this is the AIDS cases. So the epidemic started, between homosexual population and also intravenous drug users. Dominantly in these two groups, but less in the heterosexual population. So next slide is, the epidemic in the last decade of the century. So in this period, the future of epidemic looks promising because AIDS declined very sharply. You know the reason why. So it's because the combination therapy, now called antiretroviral therapy, was discovered in 1996. So at least in the developed countries, people can live longer. So without developing AIDS-related syndrome. So that's why AIDS patients decline very sharply. Also, the HIV that reflects a new infection looks stabilized. So many people believe that the future of HIV epidemic in Western society will be promising. This is in Central and South America. So epidemic is concentrated on the homosexual population and the intermittent drug users, some among the heterosexual population. Finally, epidemic concentrated in female sex workers and the men who have sex with men in many countries of this area. Asia. So this is the change of epidemic over time among the injection drug users. So it started in Thailand, then reaching to 40%. Then 10 years later, so it expanded, outbroke in Vietnam, Indonesia, India, China, and Bangladesh. So this is a photo I took in Iran at a place called the Shooting Gallery, where the drug users gather to inject and then share each other. So also this photo also I took at the border of Thailand and Myanmar. So this is Mekong River. So this is a photo of so-called Golden Triangle, a very famous area for the production of opium. Okay, next slide shows the HIV epidemic among female sex workers in Asian region. So it started in India. This is the trend in Mumbai. It's followed by Thailand, and Cambodia, and China, Indonesia, and Bangladesh. So this is a photo also I took in 1994 in Phnom Penh. So I found hundreds of shabby, houses, the brothels actually, along the unpaved road. It is 1 or 2 kilometers maybe long. So they're all, houses, brothels for sex workers. So sex workers are waiting in front of the brothels, also negotiating with the clients. This is a photo. So but you will see, also different from the experience in Africa. So epidemic among sex workers contained very effectively, particularly in Thailand and Cambodia. Is there anyone who knows why? Of course, Payon knows very well. So do you know the very famous program, contribute to such a decline of HIV prevalence amongst female sex workers?
I think in Thailand is more educated for the sex workers that they are working in that industry. So why they?
Okay, so it's one thing, but so in these countries they introduced a very famous program called 100 condom strategy. So they mandated the use of condom, with cooperation, police power, to use, condom. So it's very effective, then, contribute to the decline of the HIV epidemic this way. So this is East Asia. The epidemic has just started in, China, Taiwan, South Korea, and Japan. So we'll see in more detail later.